I know what you're thinking. What in the gosh darn is Bits and Bombs? Bits and Bombs is a podcast deep diving into what it takes to do stand-up from a different comedian every episode. Follow new open micer Peter Doms in his journey to be an okay comic.
I tuck my son into bed most nights, and every night that I tuck him into bed, I like to tell him that I love him. And last night, for the first time ever, he said, "I love you too." And I said, "I love you more." And he said, "Probably."
All right. Codie Grimsey, enemy of the podcast.
Hello, Peter.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me. Very excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
Not really, no.
Yeah. Is that why you've put off doing this for like 2 years?
I have. I just found it this is the first time I've been on a podcast.
Oh shit.
Yeah, ever. And I'm very, I don't know if I'm nervous. I just didn't want to do it for a really long time. I kept saying yes and then making excuses as to why I couldn't.
Yeah.
Maybe it is nerves.
Maybe. Well, yeah, because when I started the pod, like the first few episodes, I like ramped up that I hated you. I was like, enemy of the podcast. I was going to be really funny to like build up this thing that I hate you, and then I get you on, and then when I asked you, you're like, no. And I was like, oh. Yeah. and then there's a few times where you're like, oh man, I'm keen to do it. And then I'd be like, okay, let's do it. And then you just ghost my messages again.
Yeah, sorry about that.
And then I'd be like, all right, let's do it. And then you're like, no, man, really busy time of the year for me. And then we were at a party where you were like talking to people like, hey, want to write? I'm really free at the moment. And I'm like, I fucking hate you.
Oh, that's funny. Sorry.
You're like saying how busy you were to me. And then other people are like, I have so much free time. We should write. We should make skits. And I'm like,
yeah.
What am I doing?
To be fair, I didn't realise you were there at the time.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. But here we are.
Yeah.
Where we've squashed the beef, I guess.
I'm excited to do it. I feel like I am a big fan of watching the podcast. I just didn't think I would be very funny, or I didn't think that I'd been doing comedy for long enough to share stories. Mm-hmm. Or didn't think I was successful enough. Lots of insecurities.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, you're successful now, so don't worry. No. Okay. So when was your first gig?
It was, I always look at my Instagram to see, but I'm pretty sure it was 2018 or 2019. Mm-hmm. In September, I did Fiona McGarry's comedy course.
Yep.
Which I know you have a lot of respect for comedy courses.
I don't hate comedy courses the way other people do. Like, it is, comedy courses is a bit of a thing in the scene where people, yeah.
I feel like Fiona's got a bit of respect. I feel like a lot of people pay out comedy courses, but I think a lot of people respect Fiona's one because she's got a little bit of credibility.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think because there's a few where...
Not a little bit of credibility. Fiona, you have a lot of credibility.
There is one particular comedy course that pops up every now and again, and it's run by someone that doesn't do comedy.
Sure, yeah.
And it's like, why are you... It just seems like and she's like getting people's like NDIS funds to do it and stuff too. And that's where I'm like, all right, this is...
Yeah.
That's where I think it becomes a bit unethical. When it's like... And like pushing, and the same person's pushing like TV writing courses and stuff.
Yeah,
and it's like, you don't write for TV.
Yeah.
Like...
Entrepreneur.
It's just it seems very predatory.
Yeah.
But in terms of Fiona's one, it is like, as you said, like she has that credibility there.
There's one as well that I reckon, because I wanted to do it. I've been going to sit down comedy club since I was 17 or 18 or however old you have to be to watch shows. And I reckon I've been wanting to do stand-up comedy since I was 15. Mm-hmm. And I don't think, very anxious and nervous person, as you know.
Yeah.
I don't think that I would have ever had the courage or the motivation to do it had it not been for a course like Fiona's.
Well, yeah, that's where I think like the comedy course stuff does work for some people because it is like an environment where you kind of... it is like kind of holding your hand up to the point where you go on stage. So I think for that stuff, it is pretty I understand that. Like, especially you're in an environment where you probably got to practice being in front of the mic before there was an audience and things like that too, and you do like a grad show. So I think if the public speaking is your biggest obstacle, probably a course is a good way to do it. But for me, I just got up and did it.
Yeah.
And I think you can learn a lot from just doing that as well. But I understand like the going through a course to fight the public speaking side is
totally
cool too. But I don't think... Did you find that you learned to like write jokes through that course?
She definitely had lots of strategies for helping to write jokes.
Yeah.
I think the most I got out of it was the forcing me to go on stage. Like we did the 2-day course, and then I think she gave us 2 weeks to work on jokes. We got to send her a script, and then she sort of helped improve it. Took out a lot of religion stuff of my script, like save that for a more experienced time. But then I think I was almost going to pull out during that 2-week period. I'm like, I did the 2 days. I feel like I got money's worth. And then, I didn't. She's like, invite friends, invite family so that you feel like you have to do it. And I did. And I had heaps of people in the audience that I knew. And it went really well. But I think it's just because my friends and family were there. It's lots of supportive laughter.
It's not a bad thing to... I think it's good to have like supportive kind of group for your first.
Yeah, it was. But it definitely gave me this unrealistic false sense of confidence and thinking that I'm good at this thing that I'm not good at yet.
No, I had a similar thing too. And like especially like early on, like doing like competitions like Raw and things like that, you're like, man, this rules, this is great. And then you start eating shit at like open mics. So, okay, this is...
Because you won Mackay Raw? You won...
I won the Townsville heat.
Yeah, okay.
And that
do you have family and friends there, or?
No.
That's pretty impressive.
I had a few. I road tripped with a few friends and stuff to Townsville.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So.
And then what? You didn't invite them to the gig? You're like, just wait in the car.
Just
be 10 minutes.
wait to the. But yeah, do you think that if your first set went different, if it was bad, would you still be doing comedy?
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
No way. Because I'm surprised that I think I did quit like a few times in that first year. Like I think my second gig would have been Newmarket or somewhere like that. Didn't go well. I think the first year I was only doing like one every month maybe. Yeah,
because I think I remember you mentioned that you kind of had, when you first started, you were kind of doing it on and off or like took a bit of a break.
Yeah.
At what point did you start becoming like consistent? What was the driver to be like, okay, I need to like do this regularly now, not here and there? Because some people will do it here and there for like years.
Yeah,
there's some people I meet.
It's a sadistic kind of cycle because you book in 2 or 3 months worth of gigs in the future, and then you bomb horribly and you want to quit, but you're like, fuck, I've already booked all these gigs. So I don't know. It's just been a natural progression. I feel like before I had a baby, I was probably doing 4 nights a week or 4 gigs a week. And then post baby, maybe 2 or 3 nights a week. So, yeah, just do what you can. I think more paid gigs now, which is nice. Still, I feel like I'm not doing lots and lots of paid gigs, but always more than the previous year, which is kind of nice, kind of cool.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're doing more than the previous year, obviously you're progressing in that way. So that's good.
Yeah. I feel like it's one of those things. The more you hang around, like you just got to hang around.
That's sort of I think that is like
not at the gig, just like in the
scene. Yeah. I think it is a longevity game. Like because if you do it for 10 years, like because the amount of people that you see that have been doing it for like come and go, but also have been doing it for 10 years in the scene, there's like a handful.
Yeah.
And most of them are like
good.
MC headline kind of acts. So I think it is like half of it is just the amount of stage time that you can get, like just persistently getting on stage and getting that practice through and being and sticking around for it. I think you will get to a certain level.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I worry about that too because I'm like, I don't want to be the person that sticks around for too long and is like, but is...
Yeah, there's not that many people, though, that you see have been doing it 10 years and are still shit. Yeah. So you like to think that you won't be one. you either make it or you won't.
Yeah, and I think if you're worried about that, you're probably not going to be the person.
Sure, yeah.
Like, if you have that self-awareness, you're probably not going to be the person that is still shit in 10 years. But maybe you are, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's just me constantly being like, not good enough, you need to get better. But like...
Maybe that's what all comedians have, this this kind of innate, I'm not good enough mentality. That makes them good enough.
And probably this is why a lot of people drop out too. Like a lot of people
even good people. So many good people, hey?
Yeah.
Can't think of anyone at the moment, but
I'm sure. But there are. No. So then I guess what was the progression after doing like something to... Did you see after like starting to get consistent with the amount of gigs you're doing a week, is that when the like paid opportunities and stuff started happening? Or
yeah, I'm not sure. I think Raw definitely was good for me. Like, like I think Sit Down, I still, because I went there so much when I was like, 18, 19, 20. I think my first gig, if it was 2018, it wasn't until I was 28 that I started stand up or open mic. But yeah, so that's 8 years of going to Newmarket Comedy Club, Hotel, and watching, like, I remember seeing Sam Campbell and like Cam Duggan and all these people. And that's 8 years of wanting to do it and not having the confidence. So I think even now still when I do get booked, like even for a paid gig at Sit Down at the Paddo, I walk in, I still feel really nostalgic. You know, like I think, fuck, 8 years I was coming here watching these amazing comedians. Now I feel like I'm one of them. So it's maybe not one of them yet, but I feel honoured to be invited, It's cool. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, that's sick. When you were going to shows for 8 years, at any point were you having conversations with like comics that were on about like, how do I get into this? And they were like, were you asking or trying to?
Definitely not. I try and sit far away. It's a bit of social anxiety.
Yeah. Okay.
And I didn't realise that there were that many shit ones back then either. Like maybe there weren't, but even the shit ones, I thought they're comedians. I'm not going to talk to them. I'm just going to give them space. Even there was a bit of that, like imposter syndrome when I started. And I'm good on one-on-one, but like I don't like big, groups of people. I get a lot of social anxiety about that. So I try and do the gig, go home.
Yeah.
You seem good at that sort of thing. You seem good with groups of people. You hang out after gigs. You don't have social anxiety?
I definitely do. I don't know. I feel like I'm a bit more...
You mask it. You hide it well.
I think I hide it, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Because even like when after I did the podcast with Nighty, he was like, we were like chatting and stuff, and he was like, dude, you're so like held back in like group situations. So...
At least you're there. At least you put yourself there.
Yeah,
I don't give myself
around,
the opportunity.
I'm around it, but I'm not as like...
vocal.
Especially like when people are like riffing and stuff. I'm like, where the fuck do I... And I don't want to say try and be funny in front of everyone, and then it's like not funny.
Bombing in the group
like,
conversation.
Yeah, like I get anxious
worse than
about...
bombing on stage.
Yeah, legitimately. Like, so I get more anxious about that stuff.
Me too. I definitely, in a green room, like... just pretending that I'm preparing for my set, but really I just don't want to...
It's funny you mention that, though. You organise a lot of group activities.
Yeah, true. Now I do. But I'm more referring to in the beginning.
Yeah. Okay.
I think because I felt like I was on the out for a couple of years. Just because I didn't put myself in a position where I could have many friends in the scene. So now I'm like, been doing it for like 6 years now. So I'm like... Especially if I see like someone sitting on their own at a gig, I'm like, hey, come sit with the comics. Like I know how you feel. And it feels like shit. So come in, like.
Yep. I actually remember when I first met you, because you were like, I think you were like, oh, you Peter Dums or whatever, and you're like, I think you said to me like us rangers stick together or something, or like another ranger. And it's funny because you were someone that I'd seen around like perform a lot. Just like because I went to a lot of shows and watched a lot of shows when I first moved here.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this guy that I've seen like perform has like come up and started like you do a good job of like making everyone feel like they're involved.
Yeah, thanks.
Things like that. So
I try.
You didn't invite me to tennis again. I don't get those invitations anymore.
So tennis, we're restricted with 4 people. You've come to tennis before with us, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. I've done it a few times, but not recently.
Well, I can't invite everyone every time.
All right.
There's 4 people.
Put me in the... anyway.
There's one time we had 2 courts with 4 people on, so 8 people.
Yeah.
That's why I like things like parkrun, because you can invite...
I don't get invited to those anymore.
Parkrun? No, I don't do parkrun anymore.
Oh,
but
okay.
When I did it, you were always invited. Whereas tennis, we're always restricted to 4 or 8 people. Okay. Anyway. Lots of people I've offended with this.
I don't get invited to bowling. And
I've never run a room before, but I can imagine it would be the same feeling. People feeling like they're left off the invitation list.
Yeah, I think about running a room and then I think of the headache of like the whole like, you don't book me or like, and I'm like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah. Horrible feeling.
Yeah. So yeah. And then you also did...
Yeah, I feel like...
Huh?
You are... we were talking about Raw before, but I feel like I did really well. I did 2 years. I got to state final both years.
Yep.
Jade O'Brien won the first year, and then Brian Lewis won the next year.
Yeah.
COVID was kind of in the middle.
Uh-huh.
And then, I feel like because I did pretty well at those, I started getting more sort of opportunities, at other gigs. So that was cool. And then a few paid spots at Sit Down at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that was really good for kind of putting my foot in the door and meeting lots of people in the scene as well.
Yep. Yeah, I think Raw is a good way to start getting booked by like Fidelius, but like Sit Down especially.
Because he's watching.
He's watching.
Yeah.
He's where he watches the tapes.
Yeah. Well,
at
least he watches Raw. You'd like to think.
The last few time I did Mitzi's is like, I'm gonna be watching the video. I'm gonna be watching the tapes, and then the next time he'd be like, so how'd you go last time? I haven't watched it.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah,
he's the Godfather.
He's all over it. Papa Fideli. Yeah. So then, what was next after? So you did state finals 2 years in a row.
Yeah, I feel like I got crap after that. I feel like
you got crap
there was
after
a lull. There was definitely a lull, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was dry because I did lots of like one-liner, real dry sort of material.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I tried to branch out into more stories, and which I'm still doing now, which I feel like I'm getting better at. But I definitely feel like I got worse for a little while. My wife and I ran a swim school for 5 years.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the time I was going to gigs after a massive day at work, being absolutely... smashed at work and tired and getting up, and I'd have no voice and I'd just have no energy, which kind of suited the dry kind of deadpan style. But then I'd try doing alternative weird stuff, or I'd try telling a story, and did not go well a lot of the time. So I feel like I definitely, maybe a year or two, I definitely didn't do quite as good, but I feel like I'm getting back into it again now and doing some good stuff again. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you think you've like honed the storytelling side? Do you think it was more about you were doing something that you weren't like doing the story stuff, you weren't as like experienced in it, so you felt like you were shit for a year, but now you're better at the storytelling stuff?
And I reckon it's probably easier to be good at dry one-liners, maybe as well. Or maybe my style suited it better.
I feel like it's also very easy to be very bad at one-liners too.
Yeah.
So I think, I feel like, one-liners is like because one-liners is so tricky because it's so easy to just be like the nose exhale or like the like that type of reaction from an audience.
Yeah, it's a funny one too because like after you get into this routine of doing the same jokes for ages and ages, and then when you try and write new stuff, all your new stuff's crap in the beginning.
Yeah.
But what you forget is all your good stuff was crap at one point as well.
Yeah.
So it's really a bit of a psychological...
I'm at that point where I have like new ideas and stuff, but I'm like, this is shit.
Yep.
But I haven't taken it to stage to even try it. And like, I don't know. I am stuck in that a bit of a lull.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Yeah. I think we just got to keep reminding ourselves how long it took to get our good stuff good.
Yeah.
And that everything that we write in the beginning will be a little bit shit.
Yeah.
I think also it's funny because if you do not introduce enough new stuff, you kind of get bored. And you're talking on stage, you don't have the passion and the you need a little bit of new stuff all the time and to keep it exciting for at least yourself. And
also you do find that the stuff that once worked a lot is starting to work a lot less.
But I wonder how much of that is to do with just your style and you're sick of saying it.
I think it is. I think it's like, because I feel like a lot of what we say is like that we like. A lot of the reason jokes will work is because you're excited or like the crowd can see that you believe it.
Yeah.
But if you're not believing in it, they're going to like pick up on that.
Yeah, and that's, I reckon, why like heaps of your jokes go well the first time.
Yeah.
But not the second, third or fourth time.
Because you're so excited to do it.
And things just, it comes natural to you. And then you try and replicate how you did it the first time. It's like, nah. No, I just did a big burp.
Nice.
Do you reckon the microphone picked up on that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe.
We'll see.
I mean, you burped into a shirt. I doubt it picked it up.
Yeah, it was a pretty big burp.
Oh, okay.
Anyway. What, I was going to say something else about that. I can't remember now. It's about the joke writing. Oh, yeah. I think I like doing weird stuff too for that same reason, just to keep it exciting. Yep. Like I did this little, I haven't done it recently, but I was reading this. Every night that I put my son down, I always read to him the book, The Cranky Bear.
Yep.
And when I was reading it to him one night, like I was getting really into it and like using different voices for different characters. And I thought, how fucking funny would it be if I just read this book on stage out of context? Didn't really. And I did that a few times and it killed. It went really well. And then it stopped going well. And then Dave Eastgate helped me with a punchline, a tag in it. And then it started going really well again. Just yelling at the audience like as if I'm yelling at my 2-year-old son, which I don't. But anyway, yeah, I think I like doing weird shit like that. Hey, reading kids' books on stage.
Weren't you like eating like a packet of chips or something, or Tiny Teddies or something?
Yeah, chips.
Yeah, chips.
Just one at a time. I think I did that at Dan Holt's gig once. I ate one chip, it got a big laugh. So then I had another chip, got a big laugh. And then later on in the set, I put like a fistful of chips in my mouth.
Yeah.
And thinking that it would get a big laugh, but no one laughed. And the worst part was
Then you have to like chew.
It takes a long time to eat a fistful of chips. And there's just complete silence. And then the silence was like intolerable. So I tried to swallow the chips. And then I started choking on stage. And so people started laughing again. But anyway.
It's like when you're halfway through eating and someone asks you a question, you have to be like,
yeah.
You put the hand up, you're like, wait, I just need the... That's so funny. Because you did like a clowning course, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Oh, not a course. It was like a
workshop?
Yeah, workshop. There was a few comics that did it. Louisa Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really liked it because I think some of my favourite comics are like Tom Walker. And have you seen Tom Walker? He does
I've seen him.
Heaps of miming and stuff, and he did clowning, but he did one of the real kind of courses overseas, maybe.
Yep.
And I always had this goal, this dream to do a 5-minute set without talking at all. I always thought it'd be cool to see if I could make someone laugh in a 5-minute set without talking. So yeah, I did that course, and it was lots of fun, but haven't really become a clown since.
Fair enough.
I did. I tried to do try to think of as many funny jokes where I didn't have to talk, and one of them was like swallowing a Panadol. Did you ever see me do that?
No.
I'd pretend I had a headache. I'd start with the chip bit, eating the chip, and then I'd pretend I'd have a headache, and then find some Panadol in my pocket. So then I put the Panadol in my mouth, but then I had no water. So then I had to swallow the Panadol without water. And anyway, that was about 2 minutes of material, and it went okay. I don't do it anymore.
Don't do the Panadol bit.
Yeah. There was one night I had 3 gigs in one night, and I think I had 6 Panadol tablets in the space of 3 hours, which is probably not healthy.
Oh, fuck.
It's comedy. That's comedy.
Not even like a sugar pill or something like.
Oh yeah, I probably could have used the Tic Tac. Yeah, I didn't think about
Yeah,
that.
you could have used the
Yeah.
Man's suffering for his art. You should do an hour show where it's just you consuming different things.
Yeah. That reminds me though, I did see Furioso. I don't know if I'm probably fucking that name up. At the Melbourne Comedy Festival. He's a clown.
Yeah, I heard
and he didn't talk at all during his set. It was freaking awesome.
I heard nothing but great things.
Yeah, maybe that's why I wanted to do 5 minutes without talking. I'm like, oh, that's a fun challenge.
Yeah.
But anyway, have we got any clowns in the scene? Not really. Not in Brisbane.
No, not really.
Everyone's too cool to try it.
Too cool for clowning. Yeah, I think we only really have like improv sketch. So I don't really know of any clowns.
Yeah.
In the scene.
I feel like Chris Martin would be a good clown.
Yeah,
I don't know if he'd ever do it, but I think he'd be good.
I don't think I've really ever seen clowning stuff too, so I don't really understand like what the go is with my understanding of clowns is like in circuses and stuff.
Yeah, sure.
I haven't really been to like
the modern day clown. Miming and like
yeah.
Definitely see Tom Walker next time he's in town.
Yeah.
He's incredible.
He has like special, doesn't he? On Amazon, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. We'll check that out.
He's got this bit with the javelin where he pulls the javelin out of his mouth. And I think I saw it in Good Chat one time and I was in tears crying.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does this other really good bit where like he makes you close your eyes and then opens them. Every time you hear a clap, you got to open your eyes and he's in a different spot in the room.
Yeah.
And he's like, anyway, I feel like nerding out on comedy right now. But Tom Walker, watch Tom Walker.
That's what
Very
this
good.
is all about, is nerding out in comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you also did, like when I was newish to Brisbane, I saw your hour show as well.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever do any more runs of the hour show?
Probably premature. I feel like when I did that, I think I just felt the need to try it.
Yeah.
I think I probably did that prematurely. I did my hour show before I'd done any 20-minute spots.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was that? Okay.
I'd done lots of like different 10-minute spots and stuff. But did the hour show just because that Good Chat Comedy Festival was on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I did that once in Brisbane, once in Toowoomba.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was particularly a good show. I think I was probably happy with like 20 minutes worth of my material. And then I did 20 minutes of material that I wasn't particularly happy with, but just to make up for time. And then I tried to do like 10 minutes of just weird shit to try and, wait out the clock kind of thing.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Didn't you have like 2 openers or something? Or you had like Georgina as like an MC?
Nah, I think we did. Yeah, I had one opener who did 5 minutes. So I did a little bit and then brought her on and then I did. Yeah. But, so do you think you're going to do like the hour show again? Or? Yeah, I think so. Yep. I'd like to. I think I wanted to do Melbourne. I did the split bill with Grace Hogan at Melbourne last year and that was awesome. She asked me, I feel like we knew each other and I'd say we were sort of like friends but didn't really know each other that well. We kind of started comedy around the same time. Yep. Grace Hogan, and she's Gold Coast comic, very silly and funny. And I think we maybe even did the 2 Raw state finals together. Yep. And then she asked me if I wanted to do a split bill at Melbourne. I'm like, yeah, I feel like you'd be a really good person to do it with. I didn't know her that well. Mm-hmm. And then since then, I feel like she's my best friend in the scene. Yeah. I feel like that's a weird thing to say, isn't it? But yeah, because I thought it was me. Yeah. You're top 10, definitely. Yeah. And maybe top 5 one day. One day. Aiming for it. But yeah, it's funny because we did like 2 weeks in Melbourne together and like hanging out before and after the gigs and, she'd hang out with my wife and baby as well. And, we'd go and see heaps of shows like before and after our show. And that was really fun. And then just since then, I feel like we've just done heaps of fun, like sketches together and, just catching up heaps. She's a good person. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like maybe do a podcast with her at some point. I haven't asked her yet, but I feel like that would be fun. Yeah, I'd be keen. Yeah. Yeah, she's someone that I've seen a few times and I've met briefly, but I don't really know her. Yeah. But
I'd be keen
She's
to
friends
have
with
her
heaps of famous people as well.
on. Oh, okay.
I don't know why. I don't know why I brought that up.
Is that why you're friends with her?
Not really. Not relevant.
So-
but there was this one night. She had like heaps of, because she grew up in Cairns with, Emma Louise, the girl that sings, "My head is a jungle, jungle, my head." You don't know that one?
No, you need to sing it more.
I thought you liked music as well.
Yeah,
It's
no,
weird.
not really.
You don't know that song. You like fucking screamo music.
Yeah.
I hate your music choice. You post stories of people fighting in mosh pits, and it really upsets me.
I love how, but then you'll be in a group situation. You messaged me the other week, be like, "Hey man, can you send me a video of like the mosh pits? I need to explain this to someone."
Yeah, no, I was hanging
And
out
then
with people that enjoy what you enjoy, and I just wanted to show them photos and videos of how disgusting the behavior was. But they're like, no, they're fighting, but it's not aggressive fighting. It's like fucking fighting.
Yeah, they're smucking around.
No, I don't think so. The videos that you post look like people would actually get injured.
Oh, people fucking walk out with busted noses.
don't
and
like
stuff.
that at
people
all.
actually get injured.
That upsets me.
But people are not intentionally injuring others. It's just, I'm going to swing my fist around, and if your face is in the way, so be it. That's the kind of attitude of the scene. I don't do it.
No, I prefer like just good music though as well. Like,
Oh yeah, what do you listen to?
Emma Louise. Nah. I don't know. I think I like Augie March, One Crowded Hour. That's really good. Have you heard of that one?
No.
I got tickets coming up to see what's her name?
Billie Eilish?
No. She was she was a judge on The Voice. Kate Miller-Heidke. I got tickets to see her. She's awesome. I like her. So
yeah, you're talking about Grace having famous friends.
yes, okay. The reason I brought up Grace having famous friends is she's also friends with Morat.
Oh yeah.
And there was another one who's quite famous, which I can't remember her name right now, who came to see our show. But anyway, at Melbourne, we did 2 weeks worth of shows. Some nights we had 25 people, which was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Other nights we had 4 people. Mm-hmm. There was one night we had 1 person, and that one night that we had 1 person was Morat.
Oh,
our show.
that's sick.
Yeah. So we just did 5 or 10 minutes each, and went, look.
Oh, look.
We don't want to do an hour show for you. It's going to be too awkward. So we just did like 10 minutes each, and it was fun. It's just funny that the one night that only 1 person
That's
came.
so funny. It's like a famous pop star. That's so good. Yeah. How long was your run for Melbourne?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Fuck, it's a long run.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I don't think I'd do 4 weeks. The first week we sold really well, and the second week was a bit of a stretch. But I don't know.
For me, doing 3 nights at Adelaide was like stressful enough.
Yeah, it seems like people don't do as long in Adelaide though for some reason.
Yeah.
I feel like it's more acceptable to just have nights with 1 or 4 people in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Because Adelaide seems like people do shorter runs with bigger crowds maybe.
Yeah.
You got a few big crowds, didn't you?
No, we had...
You said the biggest night you had, you said that was the worst crowd though, hey?
Yeah, it sucked.
That's weird, hey? That's a weird feeling. Because you had this
Oh.
feeling of success, but then failure.
Especially, so we did 3 nights, and then first 2 were like 6 to 8 people.
Yep.
They loved it. So it was like a small crowd, but it was still good. Then we packed out because we spent the whole trip being like, fuck, we need to sell tickets for tonight kind of stuff. And then the last night, we got a lot of like promo ticks people and like friends of the Adelaide Fringe kind of like comp tickets and stuff.
Yep.
So we had like 28 people or something like that. So out of a 30-seater room, we packed it. So it was like sick. They were not into it.
Yeah.
They were...
I had a very similar experience in Melbourne. I think our busiest night we had, like critic. There was a critic in. There was someone from like one of the big comedy management companies watching. Yeah. And then there was someone, my Airbnb host was in that night, but she freaking loved it. She thought it was really good. But, and there was a new parent, there was a couple that just had a new baby. And they brought the baby. This was like a day or 2 before Arj Barker kicked the baby out of his show.
Yeah.
And I freaking, as soon as I saw the baby, I don't like having kids in the audience. I feel uncomfortable. I feel like it's not necessarily the it's not necessarily the kid or the parents of the kid, but it's like the people that are sitting near the kid. I feel like they're hyper conscious of the shit that the comedian's saying, and they're kind of worried about what the kid's hearing, maybe. But anyway.
Okay, yeah, my kind of thoughts on that is if there's like a ticketed show, if it's like obviously like a ticketed show or something and the parents have brought their kids along, I'm just going to keep doing my material.
Yeah, sure.
But I've been to shows where it's like at a fucking restaurant kind of thing on a Friday night, and it's a free show, so the crowd doesn't know there was going to be comedy, and they've brought like a family with like 5-year-old kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've done a show where I'm like, I've on stage edited my material or changed what I was going to say because I'm like, I don't feel right because that family didn't know they were coming to a comedy show, so I don't think it's fair for me to be like blah blah blah, like saying stuff is inappropriate for the kid because the parents didn't know there was a comedy show.
Yeah.
So I'll actively change my material to more kid-friendly.
I feel comfortable doing that in lineup shows where I'm only doing 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But because this was like 25 minutes each and I already knew exactly what I wanted to say, it didn't have that flexibility. But anyway, Grace and I like always talk about that one night, and we always kick ourselves because there were so many important people, and it just sucks that it didn't go well that night.
Oh, okay. Do you think having...
Definitely the baby threw me off.
The baby threw you off?
Massively. But anyway.
Yeah.
Good to have lots of excuses too, though.
Did it throw you off were you holding stuff back, or was it you just felt uncomfortable and weren't performing the way?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe it's just an easy excuse because things weren't going well that night. But anyway. Something else that I was thinking I wanted to talk to you about.
Yes.
I can't remember what it is now.
Oh.
Does that happen to you? I often write like talking topics.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you do this or no?
Not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do this even with people like just friends. If I haven't seen friends for a long time, I'm like I often like hang out with them, and then I'm driving home. I'm like, fuck, I want to talk to them about.
Yeah, I do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I bring out the talking list. Not with everyone, not with you, but just some people.
Yeah, I guess what's in your comedy like kind of journey so far? What's something that you're like the proudest of?
3 things I'm most proud of. Like one thing I'm like, here's 3 things.
Yeah.
I did in Brisbane. I've done like in Sydney the Comedy Store. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, right.
Like a year and a half ago. And then I did the Comedy Republic in Melbourne, which is like, I feel like that's like one of the best clubs down there. Yep. So that was cool. I did like the full run lineup. But I think in Brisbane I did a split bill show with Stephen Head and Ben Hunter.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
That was like one of my favourite gigs that I've done because they're like 2 of my favourite local comedians.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's about it. What about you? What's your favourite gig that you've ever done?
Favorite gig that I've ever done? I don't know. Just trying to think. I think for me, it is
Josh and Daniel's split bill.
No, actually, I do know my favourite show.
Nah, I fucking hate those guys. I thought you were going to say,
fuck those guys.
They're shit.
I actually wasn't... The Good Chat split bill show, I don't think I did as well as I could have. And I think I did get in my own head about it a lot. So I wasn't super happy with that. But then maybe like 6 months later when we were preparing for Adelaide, the night before, a few days before we went to Adelaide, Julio's like, hey, you and Daniel can do that show here in Brisbane. And he booked a venue for us. And we like...
Oh, yeah, West End, right?
No, it was here in Milton.
Yeah, okay.
And it
Milton
was like,
Common, yeah.
Yeah, Milton Common. And like, we packed it out.
Nice.
And it was just like... And I did like 25 minutes. And the crowd was super into it.
Yeah, cool.
And that was probably the best show I've done.
Yeah.
So it was funny. It was like a show where it was kind of offered to us and I was kind of had low expectations. I'm like, oh, this is just going to be good to know that I have the right amount of material for Adelaide and kind of get the practice out of the way. Ended up being like the best show I've done.
That's pretty cool, hey? Did you film it?
I did, yeah. I did film it.
Nice.
So...
I just sort of another one. I've only ever done one corporate gig, and that was for Swimming Australia because I used to be a pretty good swimmer. And
yeah, didn't you win like something? Weren't you like a? You talk about this a lot, but I can't remember. Didn't you win some like big race or something?
Yeah, twice. I won two. I won two big races.
Yeah.
I was a really good swimmer, but for a very short amount of time. Like there was a very short window of me being. I think I was Australian champion in 2011. But by 2012, all these young kids were getting faster and starting to catch up to me.
It's because you kept teaching them.
And then I quit shortly after that. But anyway, a bit like comedy. I feel like I was very good, and then like Ben Hunter started coming through.
You're just like, ah.
Yeah. Short window of success. But no, I did this corporate gig. Swimming Australia sort of knew that I was doing comedy. And so they asked me to do this 10-minute comedy set at the start of their awards night. It was like, it wasn't Swimming Australia. It was for the Swim Teachers Association and coaches. So it was like Duncan Armstrong was the MC. He was a very good swimmer. Do you know who he is?
No.
Okay. You're probably a bit young. What age are you?
I'm 28.
Do you know who Dawn Fraser is?
Yes.
She's a very famous female swimmer. She, from a long time ago, she was sitting in the front row, and there was 350 people in the audience at this this awards night.
Yeah.
And I did 10 minutes at the start, and yeah, that was kind of cool. It didn't go amazingly well, but I was like, it was cool because I got to cross my two kind of. I wrote like very swimming specific jokes about teaching kids, and like a couple of Dean Boxall jokes as well. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, right. Cool. So what's the worst bomb you've had?
The first ever 20-minute set that I did was down in like Ballina. It's Mandy Nolan's gig.
Yeah.
It was an awesome gig. It was one too, like everyone has a bomb, but you know when you bomb and everyone on the lineup bombs, it's kind of cancels your bomb out. This was a bomb where I did horrible for 20 minutes, and then Shane Hunter and Mandy Nolan and Ellen Briggs got up and just killed. And I was like, oh, fuck, this is horrible. Yeah. It's a horrible feeling. But they're all incredible comedians who've been doing it a long time. But it always sucks when you're the only one on the lineup that doesn't do well. But anyway, yeah, that was like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago maybe. First ever 20-minute sort of paid spot. So it's improved a little bit since then.
And what's next? Do you have anything, like any shows that you're planning for like this year?
Nah, I'm trying to do, because got the 2.5-year-old and kind of between jobs at the moment. My wife's studying full time. Yeah. And maybe some exciting news on the way soon as well, but which I haven't told anyone yet. When are you releasing this?
In like 2 weeks.
Yeah, okay. I'll probably start telling people then, I think. But yes, I got a little one on the way as well. Congrats. So now I'm kind of like, for 2 kids, it's going to be hard to do festival shows and stuff. So I'm trying to do like more different things. Like I'm doing lots of sketches as well, trying to do more TikTok and Instagram reels and stuff like that with different people. You've been seeing them?
Yeah, I've seen them.
Haven't liked a lot of them, I've noticed.
Yeah, look, it's very. I've been very. That's a very conscious effort on my part. Oh. That's another thing actually about you. Is that another reason we have beef? Is that I remember like ages ago, you're like, oh, we should do sketches together, and we had ideas, and we were like talking about them, and then when I went to like, oh, let's do them, you're like, nah, actually, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, but that was before I did any with anyone, to be fair.
And now you're doing them with everyone.
You know what it is? Grace Hogan has had that effect on me. She's made me more comfortable being silly and not being afraid of being rejected online and making a fool out of myself. And I think back then when you and I were talking about it, I'd never put anything online.
Yeah, you had.
So now I feel a bit silly and I can do more.
Yep.
We can do one after this if you want.
Sure.
You got some ideas?
No, not really. I have no
sketch ideas. We had heaps back then. We could just go through.
Yeah.
We
could go through the
conversation list.
Yeah. Because I think that was one that you haven't done yet, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But it's funny because you invited me to hang out like a few weeks ago, and I rocked up late. And you
not just late. You're fine. And I know it wasn't your fault. The train was.
Oh yeah, I was like half an hour to an hour late.
Yeah.
It was like there was like multiple bus delays, all that type of stuff. But it's funny because I rocked up late. You ended up doing a sketch. So you're going to like surprise me with hey, let's do this sketch.
Yeah.
And then you did it with Chris Martin instead.
It makes it look like I had more thought. behind it. But no, I was just going to suggest a sketch that we could do. I didn't know if you'd even want to do it.
Probably not.
What one was it? I can't even remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably not important.
Was it the driving license one?
Yeah. Fuck, that went really well. I got like 57,000 views on TikTok.
Damn, that could have been me. Could have been me.
But no, I don't think I'll do any festivals for at least another year. Once my wife's sort of teaching full time, then I can sort of relax a bit.
Yeah.
Be a stay-at-home dad, a bit like Dusty.
Yeah.
Not as good at comedy, but I can replicate his lifestyle. Dad at home and then try and do comedy at night. I think I would like to do like Melbourne Comedy Festival. Maybe like a 2-week solo run. That'd be cool. Are you thinking the same or?
No, I don't know. I don't have any plans for festival stuff. Because I did Adelaide as like just to experience it. But I don't know. Maybe eventually, but no real immediate plans or even anything for like the next year or so.
Yeah. It's kind of fun just doing local stuff sometimes anyway, hey? Just feel like you got to love it, hey? To just, if you love it and you just hang around for long enough, maybe. Anyway.
Maybe something will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where can people find you, Codie Grimsey?
Instagram or TikTok?
Yep.
Not YouTube.
Not YouTube. Not into that long form?
No. Not yet. No. Well, this gone better than I thought it would.
Really? How?
You said really? Like, no, it hasn't. It's been shit.
No, I mean, what did you expect?
I didn't think it would go well, to be honest. That's why I was thinking, I love watching your podcast, but I thought an hour might be too long. And then I looked at, what's his name? Zach Hadfield did like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of anything worse than that. An hour and a half.
Of Zach
it's
Hadfield.
been fun. No, this has been fun, but I just, I thought maybe let's do 30 minutes.
Yeah, because you asked me, hey, can we do it short? And then you compared it to having sex with your wife.
We can edit that out later.
We could. I won't.
What was the comparison, sorry?
You're like, oh, we got to keep it short. It's like having sex with my wife or something.
Okay.
Or, I don't know.
That sounds unnecessarily crude and not like something I would say.
I'll include a screenshot. All right. Is there, before we go, is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Probably, but I won't remember until I drive away. But maybe we do a second part at some point.
Second part? Maybe we do. Or you just send me a voice note. You're like, hey guys, here's what... Just on your phone. All right. Well, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for inviting me. It's been fun.
It's nice to be invited, isn't it?